Hi everyone, this is Karen from Online Healing Community. Welcome to Creating Space. And today we're going to talk about thriving this pandemic. And with us is vocal coach and community organizer Tapati Itapat. Please help me welcome her. Hi Tapati, welcome to
Hi,
Creating
Karen. Good
Space.
evening. And good evening to Online Healing Community. Maraming salamat sa
Thank you so
pag-invite.
much for being here. We're going to talk about thriving this pandemic. First question, Tapati, you are a performing artist and that's your bread and butter. And
Yes, yes.
then the world went on lockdown. So events and gatherings were not allowed. So wala rin jobs for artists for over a year now. How were you at the start of the pandemic?
Sa totoo lang, panic talaga. There's a panic state na parang hala, anong mangyayari? So there's this instinct sa loob na you have to do something. Parang may part sa akin na, of course, there's this feeling na ano kayo mangyari? You get overloaded with a lot of worries, fears, halo-halo na yung lahat. And we want all of that together. Ang sa akin kasi is that hindi ko na siya kayang isipin pa na I have to spend time on it. Because if I spend time on those worries and fears na walang gagawin, there's no solution. So, ang nangyari is all of these energies, all of these worries, na-direct siya towards maghanap ng solution. Anong gagawin mo? There's the push. Nangyari is kailangan may solusyon na hindi lang pwedeng wala akong gagawin and then just entertain these emotions na walang patutunguhan. Parang more on that. But I never claim, hindi ko makiklaim na sarili ko that I'm strong. I don't claim that. But it's more of the space wherein, yes, I acknowledge the fears. Yes, I acknowledge that I'm worried here. Yes, I acknowledge all of this haywire, all of this um, calisthenic of emotional calisthenics.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I have to do something
So what was your
to find a
solution?
solution. Dumaan ako sa stage na hanap ako ng opportunities. And then I just realized after going through all of them online, this is not it's not for me, it's not for me and my daughter na hindi talaga siya magsaswak na parang kung if I will bend myself, it's like taking a part of you out just so you will fit in. It's like parang binend mo na masyado yung sarili mo para lang maging pasok dun sa ano yung opportunity na yun. There's too much effort, but it's not going to be good for me and my daughter. So,
Right.
yung naging, hello?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Anong nangyari? Uh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
I can
so,
hear you.
so andun yung point na I went back to myself. Nilatag ko sarili ko, anong kaya kong gawin? Anong kaya kong gawin? Lahat. Nilatag ko lahat doon kung ano yung kaya kong gawin, ano yung gusto kong gawin, saan ako magaling. So
Mhm.
what I can do, what I can offer, and what I'm good at.
Right.
And then I crossed it to the world na ano yung kailangan, if
Mhm.
there's a need, and alin dito yung kaya kong gawin that I can offer out in the world. So there's this inner conversation and there's also this check and balance in the world na ano yung pwede kong ma-offer sa mundo na na may value. There.
Mhm.
There it is.
And what did you discover?
Uh, yeah, I went back to my vocal coaching kasi yun ang 'di ba yung sinasabi na if you cannot 'di ba pa yung sinasabi nila if, the one who teach cannot do. 'Di ba minsan kaya parang nagkakaroon pagdating sa teaching na pag magtuturo ka, you're not able to do it. So there's contradiction to that, and there's also a point na yes, totoo siya. At the same time, yes, na hindi siya totoo. But it's a humbling experience for me because yeah, para sumasa pa yun, those who can teach cannot do. Di ba, para at the end of the day, hindi ko siya magawa ngayon. I cannot be performing in front of audiences in person.
Mhm.
Then I went back to myself na, oto, kaya ko itong gawin. This vocal coaching is what I can do. And then I naramdaman ko because I have a daughter, I'm reflecting na, if my daughter cannot go outside and do a lot of things, what is she gonna do? She's stuck inside the house. Ano yung pwede niyang gawin? Wala. She'll be forced to go online rather than anong gagawin niya online na magi-games lang. If there's this online teaching, then it's at least a possibility that there's also a lot of students out there or parents also having the same sentiment na baka gusto nila avail of something online na it will do good for them. And
Right.
bumalik ako dun sa purpose or sa purpose ng music. So there's different levels. Well, actually, it's not just music; it's just arts as a whole.
Mhm.
Art as a whole is a tool. It can be a tool for education or information drive. It can be a tool for entertainment, of course. But at the same time, it can also be a tool for therapy and a tool for transcendence. So transcendence in the sense of regardless of whatever religious background or spiritual path you are in, once you engage yourself with arts, it can be a tool for you that you're going to transcend. Meaning to say, you go deeper with your spirituality, you go deeper with your religion, with your how you commune with God. So, having said that, ang daming forms ng art na um, it cannot just be limited for me as a profession of providing entertainment. So, so having said that, nag-reflect ako doon. Okay, right now I'm not a performer. Also, just to let you know also, Karen, and probably other people who are watching us right now, sa music kasi maraming larangan eh. There's pop, there's jazz, there's classical, there's rock, hip hop, underground, metal, kahit ano-ano, di ba? Mine is in neo ethnic music and it's pro culture music under the wing of Joey Ayala. Joey Ayala at ang bagong lumad. So in itself, bago lahat pa, bago pa wala pa yung pandemic, we are already aware that the income opportunity of that kind of music, sobrang maliit lang talaga. So to begin with, andun na yung advocacy nun. Andun ako na, okay, I'm gonna align myself with this. I'm gonna perform using this kind of music because it makes sense. So it still goes back to purpose. Now I'm using my skill in performing arts for the purpose of information drive and cultural campaign for our own culture, for our own environment, andun siya. And then, of course, with the leadership of Joey Ayala. So alam namin to begin with nang wala siyang pera, lalo na ngayong lockdown, lalong walang pera. So I accepted that fact already na hindi ko siya mapapagkakitaan. But music
Mhm.
in itself brought me happiness. Music in itself molded me, saved me. And there's also that portion that it would, I mean, there's also that form of music that can also help and save people.
Right.
Not
That's
as a
interesting.
performer, but as engaging it as an art for therapy.
You said that music saved you. How did it
Yes.
save you exactly?
Ah, mahaba-haba. Saan bang magsimula? Um, it saved me because pag andun yung, di ba minsan pag andun yung part na pero medyo magulo, medyo stress ka, pag mapapatugtog ka ng music, even if you're not a singer, if you're not a performer, if you're not an artist yourself, the moment that you just turned on your phone, your laptop, your whatever, if you're connected in YouTube and online or kay FM station, pag sobrang stress ka, then you goes searching for this music that would help you feel better. Kahit na siguro YouTube, Spotify, ang dami eh. Then you can always go back to those favorite things, favorite music na gusto mo. And then there's always the spark na you can always remember that music that brought you back to good memories, and it's a trigger in itself to bring you back into that space. Or even if there are no memories, but whatever the music resonates on, it can be the message or the form of the music in itself that suits you or makes you feel better, or the lyrics in itself is an affirmation of where you are at or where you're heading at, or it contradicts what kind of feeling you have right now, or even the fact that the music in itself is talking about a lot of trash or feelings na sometimes you yourself cannot express it. But hearing trash music or yung naglabas ng sama ng loob yung musician, but listening to it already heals you because kinds of that singer or the lyrics in itself is channeling the feelings that you have but you just can't express. So marami siyang layers.
That's
For
true.
myself, kasi I'm a performer, I listen to the music, and I also meditate, so I bask into the music. And as a performer, I express it. So maraming layers. Pag galit ako or pag masama yung pakiramdam ko, whatever in all levels, I'll just choose the music. Maglabas ako kaya, yun na, tapos na.
Right.
And then you can go on to a certain music na would suit you, ganon. So it's also a process.
Right.
Great.
It helps. Yeah.
Yes.
It helps soothe you, like you said. Hi, Rudy.
Hello.
And you, yeah. Hi.
Opposite. I'm here.
Yes.
But that's
Yes, it's
Okay.
opposite. And
Pwede
so
may
you're
delay.
saying that
Okay.
music heals, no? Because it allows you to express.
Is it okay
So
if
there.
before?
But you know what's interesting with your story, Tapati, is that you were able to respond right away. You were able to set up your school agad-agad. How were you able to respond that quickly and
The
adapt that quickly?
okay. Actually, first, tinitingnan ko online. And then, I'm seeing a lot of foreign schools offering it, different countries. Tapos nakita ko paano to, kasi hindi ko naman siya alam eh. So, I started with simply offering it online na sino may gusto mag-voice lessons. Tapos magkano? Di ba? Ano na yung question na magkano? Um, kasi hindi ko naman masasabi na this is my rate. Of course, the offline rate is different and of course, it's really different. And at the same time, marami yung difference pagdating sa quality din kasi iba. Ang dami ko pang itutuklas. So I said, sige, sino may gusto mag-voice lessons? Tapos magkano? Magkano? Bahala ka. Magkano? How much you feel like you can afford and what the value is. So that in itself is like based on Dana economy according to capacity and based on gratitude. So nagsimula ako doon. And then at the same time, having the process of also learning the technicality, ganito, ganyan. Okay, ito yung na-discover ko, ito. And then dealing with internet fluctuations. So, andun din lumalabas din dun yung mga offline training na ano pwedeng gawin even if you're not seeing each other, and then you can like record yourself in video, send it to me, I'll give feedback, and then this is what you do. Kasi minsan hindi na talaga kaya ng internet at that time kasi hindi pa handa eh kasi lockdown eh. Hindi ka na,
Right.
you don't have access to all of what you need to. So I started with that until I was able to refine the process, and then from then on nag ano siya, word of mouth, nag gano'n na lang na nung nakita nila, "Uy, maganda yung nangyari, magandang resulta." And then eventually, I made a website. I don't know how to make a website, but I somehow during the pandemic na wala akong magawa, para okay, nag-hyper-focus. Tapos, sige, kailangan ko aralin ito, how can I make a website, ganito, ganyan, then put it out in the open. And then from there, I built along the way. So refining the website, refining the content, and then people reaching out to me, word of mouth na gumulong na siya, and then to the point na marami ng students, and I have to call for some other vocal musicians, also music educators na displaced din sa lockdown, and then training them. Hindi ka marunong yan, paano yan? Ito gagawin mo, ito. And then hanggang yun, nakabuo ng team, dumami yung students, referrals, and then nag-aral ng social marketing. Lahat-lahat na. So it's actually an experiment. It's actually an experiment at the same time you really build along the way. So it's like hindi ko alam anong gagawin ko, but there's this a direction that I want to go, and I'm open to whatever's happening, and it's just unfolding every day. It's magical kasi nanggaling ako sa space na meron ba 'to? Wala, hindi na ako nag-isip. Kasi kung iisipin ko pa 'yan, wala na akong time para mag-isip. And then the situation is that if you still put doubt on yourself, na everything else in the world is in doubt, who will save you?
Right.
Ikaw lang eh. Ikaw lang sa sarili mo eh. But of course, you have a God. For people who believe in God, for people
Yes.
who have their own spiritual path, we have all of those sense of structure. We all have all of different levels and concept of faith, and whoever we look up to for, as a divine source, someone who's bigger than us, that
Right.
we align with, and then that's where we draw our unlimited source.
Mm-mm.
And andun din yung space na this is not just for me alone. This is not just for me alone. Yes, I benefit from it. My daughter benefits from it, but it's also a space wherein everyone benefits from it.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, now you have a team. You started from scratch and you did your own research. You studied it all by yourself initially. And now you're able to hire other vocal coaches, no,
Mm-mm.
to help you also. And so you're providing livelihood for other artists as well. What did help you thrive
Ah,
during the pandemic?
the fact na nagkaroon ng result sa simula, that in itself is a living miracle. And if you experience the miracle, siguro yung iba hindi naman miracle, corny, di ba? Iba.
Right.
But the fact na nakaranas ka ng something beautiful, something so blessed, na despite of the situation, and you had that feeling, that alone is a seed that grows into a plant and it's gonna thrive na. Kahit sinasabi ng the rest of the world na lugmok, ganito, daming negative, but you're experiencing that in itself, ano siya, nakakahawa siya. And it's a very pure source na nangyari to sa'yo, which means there is also hope in everything. Not necessarily, it just came into a form for me as a online vocal coach, and for the rest of my teachers and students and parents, families. Kasi yung iba, lumuk din sila, they see happiness in their kids na nag-voice lessons, and natuwa na rin. Parang naging source din yan siya ng inspiration sa mga ibang parents na having to see their kids laughing and smiling and happy with what they do, naging source din siya ng inspiration for some parents, in fact, na
But
dun sila kumukuha ng lakas, and then it jump started them to move on again with their businesses, with their profession, or starting with another profession, learning yung child like na taking everything as is. May part na iiyak, wah, ganun lahat na parang ito yon, at the same time openness na there's more to the world na
you
pwede
mentioned,
discover along the
yeah,
way.
you said that it was magical for you, but also what was clear for me when you were talking about this is that when you started, you were very intentional about it. You, like you mentioned, you had a conversation with yourself. What is it that I'm good at? What is it that I like to do? And is there a need in the world for what I can't do? And you really had a conversation with yourself before you set out and open your school, right? But also, and you did your work, you did your research, you started a website from scratch, even if you don't know how to do it, right?
Lahat.
And then the result came in. People
Yes.
actually got the offer, and then when more people got the offer, then you were able to offer it to other teachers. You were able to help out more people as well.
Mm.
My question is, now how about for those people who are like in between jobs right now? Because a lot of artists really lost their jobs. Not even artists, a lot of people are
People.
em-
Oo.
yeah, unemployed right now. What else can you advise them, Kaya?
Um, our income source before the pandemic can mean a lot in terms of the value that it brings in. Value, meaning to say it can be tangible or intangible. Of course, simula tayo sa tangible pera, di ba? It feeds us, it brings food on the table. Ganyan. At the same time, there's the esteem because you take pride with your career, whatever you're doing. But it is not us. Di ba? So parang the moment that you attach yourself so much on one thing that you've been doing, that it's just defining you, and that's only it. You can be good at it, yes, but it's also limiting. It's good, but at the same time, there's the focus, there's the concentration, but at the same time, it also limits you from all the other potentials and possibilities. It's like pag ito lang ginagawa mo, kinancel mo na yung possibility nito because of course there's the time element and we're all time bound. There's always limitations as well as there's always possibilities. But if you focus and give a lot of time with this possibility, it cancels the other one. But if you let go of the of or baliktad, hindi siya let go kasi it was not that we let go of it. The lockdown happened and it was never our decision. The lockdown happened and it created a big vacuum. Now, the vacuum, you can get crazy on it or you can just dive into the vacuum and and make that vacuum a space wherein enjoy the space wherein you can search again and journey into yourself. What are the other things that holds value to yourself aside from the job or whatever that defines you? Because then there's when life is still going on, right? So meron kang ibang interests, meron at merong next highest excitement. So
Right.
even if this worked a lot for you in the past few years, but if you start from scratch, just like kids, wala naman eh. Where do they come from? Saan sila magaling? Wala. Nothing. Start from nothing and then building from there. But how come they're so happy? They're so enthusiastic. There's a lot of learning along the way and they're happy to it. So, andun lang yun. And then once you get into that next highest excitement that you have in your heart, then you look also outside. Ano yung pwede mong gawin at whatever the need is or ano yung pwede mong i-explore out in the world that you can do what you can do, you can be good at, what you are good at, or ano yung may need. So going over all of these questions, then you can, there's always answers. A lot, actually. In the world of information, that everything is just the words at the tip of your fingertips online, there's limitless of possibilities. You just have to filter. And the filtration is going back to yourself. What holds true, what has impact in yourself, what you have, what you hold value, and what is relevant. Ganyan.
Oh, that's very beautiful. And I love your analogy of what's going on right now. You look at it as a vacuum, but for you, the vacuum is not a bad thing. Actually, for you, the vacuum is a space of possibilities. It allows you to ask yourself, what else can I do? And that's why you're able to create possibilities for yourself. And hopefully that's one thing that people can look at as well. Na this is parang you actually have space to do something else, like you said. What else interests you at this time? We just need to take a break at the moment. But when we come back, we'll talk more about healing and thriving with Tapati. Okay, so this is just a short minute break, 1 minute, and we'll be back. So we can just help people stay calm and spread calm at this time. And if we can just really lighten the load of everybody, and lalo na with the social distancing that's being done, we kind of feel alone. Even now, we're still on lockdown. And I just want people to know that, guys, you're not alone. Kaya natin to. Together, we can do this. That's why we have programs every Tuesday, every Thursday. There's a class or a workshop which is free to the community so everybody can come together. Here are our programs on personal growth and healing for you. Okay, so we're back. Earlier we're talking about thriving this pandemic, and with us is Tapati Itapat, a vocal coach and community organizer. Tapati, another thing that you're teaching now is not just vocal arts, and you also talk about healing through the arts. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, okay. Um, we've done this before. Kailan nga yun? The Kaya Natin to Festival. Are the
December
people able to
last
have
year.
access? Do the people have access to it, or is it? Uh,
Not well, there's free there are free videos on the website, but the people who actually paid for the fest, they have access to the recordings.
okay. Yes. The program was more of getting the right. Um, of course, we started with physicality of the voice. How you're able to access your voice in such a way na hindi siya masisira. So that's the physical part. And then the next one is connecting your breath and your body movement with your voice. So it's not just your voice separately, but at the end of it's entire being. So once you engage your entire body, your thoughts, your feelings, and you're able to sync it with your breath and your movement, then you're able to find the voice within, and you have the empowerment to get to express it with freedom. So expression can be in a lot of ways. Most of the time, when we deal with thoughts and feelings, actually, sometimes the feelings you get stuck, and sometimes it just goes here, and then parang dun lang, parang hindi mo siya mailabas. That's why there's a lot of psychosomatic diseases. But when you're able to channel it out organically, even if it doesn't make sense, even if you're not singing well or vocalizing well, just really able to express it. The moment that you're able to even listen to yourself, that in itself is an affirmation of your existence. Sometimes, nauuna yung thoughts, nauuna yung emotions, then the expression. But a lot of people, surprisingly, mailabas nila. Then when they hear their voice, doon nila ma-realize, oh my God, eto na pala yung state ko. Far apart from what they thought they have.
That's
So
true.
for this vocal activation, it's having the space, knowing it technically that of course you're able to voice out without hurting your throat. And next is having the space wherein you can express yourself without judgment. And that in itself, the process is more of a conversation with yourself. You don't have to tell your problems, you don't have to speak about it, but you will have the space to engage yourself in a vocal conversation just by sound, and you're going to process it on your own. That program is that space and that
Yeah.
process.
I remember one of the participants, she was so grateful because your workshop allowed her to cry. And she said she wanted to express herself. She really wanted to express her emotions, but she didn't have space for that. But she was so grateful when you allowed her to when she was allowed to cry
Thank
during the
you.
workshop.
Yeah, exactly. Kasi majority of us, we were raised maybe, or probably some, not really everyone, but for a certain generation na wag kang umiyak, mahimik ka. O di, ano, you're gonna get spanked more. Sige, if you first mali, stop. So, andun yung repression. So, maybe some grew up in that upbringing na you're not able to express yourself kasi the moment that you express yourself you're considered bad or bad behavior, so mas naging repress siya. And then even if at the time probably yung kung maliit pa kasi kahit sabihin natin nagtantrum na not on the right places kaya na discipline ng ganon, but logically parang naging command na siya in our lives na pag mag-express ka mali, that's bad. So, para siyang naging program na siya without us knowing na it's bad or it's not right to express feelings. Even if nasa tamang espasyo ka na, if you have your own space, pero andun yung programming na hindi mo ma-express. Especially
Yeah.
even just by, exhaling or, expressing that. Yung ganun lang mismo, hindi mo mailabas. But the moment that you're able to really express even your voice, sometimes sisigaw ka lang, you get pillows, ganun lang. And then everyone else can hear and you're in that space, malaking tulong siya. Sobrang malaking tulong.
I remember you actually talk about that emotional guidance scale when
Oh
you
yeah,
really allow people to really get in touch with what are you feeling right now, and then express it through your voice.
yes. Okay, people right now, you can look up the upward spiral and the downward spiral. So it's like an emotional guidance map. So minsan pag hindi mo siya ma-express and you can only like intellectualize it or you can feel it, you can go through where you are at. So just like a map, na pag you're from one space to another, from isang lugar going to another place, then you drive or you ride a car or jeepney, bike, whatever. Saan ka pupunta? You're coming from one space, from one place, and then you go to another place. So itong guidance scale, it's like affirming where you are at. And then magiging goal mo siya, okay, aakyat ako, ito ang mga emotions na pwede ko. Ito yung gusto kong marating. These feelings or this state, ito yung gusto kong marating. So for you, for yourself, it's like, then you go back to memories. You can go back to your memories of what in the past, when you've had this passion, the joy, the knowledge, enthusiasm, positive expectation, belief, optimism, hopefulness, contentment, ano yung mga bagay na yun? Intangible, tangible, people, places, circumstance, scent, smell, temperature, lahat. You can go back to it. You can go back to it. Now you can bring all of them. You can make that movie real in your mind. So when you're that, if you can, then you can journey from where you are at, going back to that space. Even if they're just thoughts, but those thoughts, those memories have an emotion with it and the sensation, the feeling of being. So kahit wala yun din, it can jumpstart. That can jumpstart you into to doing something. Whatever
That's,
you're doing something, you're feeling something, but it gets you to do something.
yeah.
That gets you
I
out.
yeah. I remember when you're doing this workshop with the participants, you really let them acknowledge where are you right now. You actually made them look at the downward spiral and then ask them, where are you? What are you feeling? And then express it through your voice. And it's so interesting that, you didn't ask them to actually share where they are right now. You just allowed them to use their voice to express where they are, and the participants enjoyed that. They were able to actually integrate what's happening to them right now. And they were able to express without really saying the specifics.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm.
Marami ba? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Mm-mm. But that was interesting also. You were able to bring people to a higher emotional state through their voice.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
Another thing that I noticed when you were doing your workshop is that you were able, because I did a workshop with you online, and then we also did a workshop offline. But what I noticed is you have this capacity to bring them to a higher emotional state, even if it's just like 5 minutes, and it's fast, ha. Like you don't need a lot of time. It can just be like 5 to 10 minutes, but you're able to bring people up.
Thank you. If it really helped, thank you. That's the least that I can do.
Uh-oh. How are you able to like do that? Like, what's the training
Uh,
to be able to use voice and voice activation to bring people
oh, you
you
talking
actually
about how
raise,
I come up with that?
yeah,
Yeah.
are you able to raise consciousness through that?
Yes. Two things kasi. There's the the technical part of learning the process. So, lumalabas na dun yung pinag-aralan mo ba, ni-research mo ba, ganyan. There's always the sense of structure, but there's also the sense of movement. So, when you say movement, it's the actual process in itself because I'm human. Yeah, I'm not different. I'm not different. I am not perfect. I am not hindi ako exempted sa sa naramdaman sa nangyari. It's human to connect. So all of these emotions, everyone who felt despair, everyone who felt anger, everyone who felt fear, lahat tayo may pinagdaraanan. And I just really faced that that process in me. So there's a lot of wounds. There's also a lot of wounds in me na I have to come across with and converse with and deal with. And since because I'm a performer, so it gave me an avenue already, and also research and training, different trainings. Not necessarily this kind of training, but rather different modalities on certain portions. So nagkataon na this pandemic gave me the chance to conglomerate all of what I have learned technically, theoretically, and experience wise also. So yun nabuo lang talaga siya. And it came at the very organic source is us having to go through all of these kung ano man yung pinagdaraanan natin when pandemic happened. So I would
Yeah.
say yes, being wounded, it made me it made me effective with what I did to help out people to facilitate with this kind of healing process. I don't claim that I'm an expert. I'm just happy to share that it worked for me and it could also work for you.
Yeah. It did help a lot of people. And like when I went back to it, I was thinking, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful because it was so experiential. Like you see the transformation right in that very, very moment. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
But I'm sure you also have practices that help you thrive really and stay in a high emotional state, even though we're going through this chaos and this pandemic at this time.
Um hindi ko masasabi na dire-diretso. There's still fluctuations. There's still fluctuations. But what brings me back is going back to my existence and purpose. So if you go back to your sense of existence, your purpose, the battle is like this. Hayaan mo na lang ba na mabalewala na lang yung nasimulan mo? Hayaan mo na lang ba na mabalewala yung sarili mo? Or would you want to rise up and get back on your feet and do more? Ganun lang siya. Pero kasi kung babalik ka pag sa sarili mo lang iisipin mo, marami, daming spirals eh. You get caught up with the labyrinth. But if you align yourself with something that's greater, you will be engulfed in that sense of purpose. There's always that sense of purpose na in a majority, paano ko ba sabihin na? I'm trying to look for words. Na if you align yourself into that bigger thing, bigger than you, then just basking in that big space, that alignment alone, maliit ka lang para maging I'm lost of words, na yung energy or yung source na yon na mas higit pa, kahit yung sarili mo pa ay kulang lang para to feel in that bigness. Kasi, di ba pag sabihin mo sarili mo, how you can feel it in, parang feeling mo, kulang. Andun yung sense na kulang, kailangan ko pa i-fill in. Pero baliktad. There's that big space na sense of purpose and yung kalakihan na yan, ilagay mo yung sarili mo, baka ikaw pa yung mag-disperse sa sobrang laki. And
So there's
that force
something that's bigger than you.
so big na it's limitless.
Right. So you just have to tap into that space.
Happy to that space.
That's, yeah,
Thank you
that's
for putting the
bigger
words.
than
Yeah, Karen.
Thank you so much for that, Tapati. For people who want to be who want to have voice lessons or want to try vocal activation, can you please share with us how they can reach you?
Yeah. Um, You can look it up online. It's maharlikavocalarts.com, or kahit sa Facebook, you can just type in Maharlika Vocal Arts and you will be prompted to the voice lessons that we're offering. But if you want to get directly to me, you just type in Tapati, then it just gonna show up. Tapati Itapat, by the way, kasi maraming Tapati. And
Yeah,
then, of
that's
course,
true.
you can also reach me through online healing community and with Garan, of course.
Yeah, we're really excited. Oh, Pao is agreeing with you regarding when you talk about vastness and greatness. Pao is saying we are physically so small compared to the potential of our consciousness.
Yes, yes. So true. Very
Mm-mm.
true.
And so what you're saying is that we have to tap into your consciousness, to that space that is bigger than you.
Exactly. Because if you just keep on going to the space of lack, or the lower self, it's just gonna be a downward spiral. Walang mangyayari. Because dun lang eh. Kasi andun ka na sa espasyo na limited.
Yeah.
Wala na. That's
And
the end of it.
yeah, what I noticed with you also is you tap into the possibilities. Like you said nga, 'di ba? We are actually in a vacuum right now, but you didn't look at the darkness of the vacuum. You look at the space it created. And so it's a
Yes.
space for many possibilities.
Mhm. Like, for example, kung ano ginagawa mo pre-pandemic, let's say you have a job, you have a 40-hour job, and then the structure na it's built around on your life, and suddenly 40 hours was taken away. Now, what could be more? What are the other things na magagawa mo? So nagkaroon ka ng espasyo. No, ngayon kung hindi
Yes.
nangyari 'yon, then hindi ka makabuo pa ng bago.
Yeah.
So unless you just want to hold on to the past, which is already past, wala ka na magawa, tapos na eh,
Yeah.
then hindi ka makausad. But but if you acknowledge what's in the present, ito yun, time is very, very, very important, because if you just keep on thinking of the past, tapos na siya. But if you always keep on projecting naman to the future, hindi pa siya nangyayari. So, mako-caught up ka talaga, mag-overthink ka. But if you're in the present, kaya nga siya sabing present, it's a redundant phrase,
It's
ang
a
dami nang
gift.
nagsasabi, kaya it's a gift. Because when you
Yes.
are fully present, then you exist. Oh, existential
Yeah.
na yung pinaka, ano. Pag andito
Yeah.
ka, nasa present ka, then you can co-create. You can create whatever you can in the here and now, and that's going to be the sense of direction, or your north star. Yun na yung possibility na binuksan mo in the future. And because there's so many possibilities, mimili ka lang eh. Sobrang lakang dami. Dami talaga eh. So pipili ka lang.
Yeah.
Hindi mo
That's
naman magagawa
beautiful.
lahat, di ba? So pipiliin kang
Yeah.
isa, dalawa, tatlo, lima, yan pa lang, wala na, uubusin na yung oras mo. So,
That's
babalik ka doon talaga na i-filter mo what is relevant for you, what is what what holds impact, saan yung growth mo, saan yung next highest excitement mo, what you can do, and what is needed in the society. Then magpapang-abot talaga yan. There will always be answers to
yeah.
questions. Meron at
Mm.
meron talaga. And all of us, we're humans. We can always create something. There's always room to grow. There's always room to grow. And that alone, you will have that conversation in yourself and outside in the real world, and then you create something that contributes to the new world.
That's so beautiful. We are human, so we can always create, and there's always room to grow. On that note, can we ask you to end the conversation with a reflection or a short meditation? I know you have a resilience mantra.
We can go over it. This is, by the way, something that I just found online. See, online, so vast. Ang daming stuff online. Just have to look for what you want, and that can help you out. So, on your space right now, wherever you are at, be glad that you're reading this. Now, try to feel it in yourself. If you want to, you can also write your own resilience mantra. So let's just go over this. I'll speak it with everyone. You can also speak it with me. I will not give in to sadness. I will not let my thoughts control the way I feel. I will never give up. I will stay positive and work on a solution. My life is great with all the positive and negative things in it. I allow myself to be happy no matter what. I am enough and I am complete. What's more, I am enough and I am complete. Last, I am enough and I am complete.
Wow. That's so beautiful. We have to remind ourselves that, no? I am enough and I am complete. It's easy kasi to look at, like you mentioned, it's easy to look at the lack, eh.
Yes, yes. Madali siya pero otherwise if you want something new, then you have to let go of the old thoughts or the old habit while thinking. So there's a space for a new thought and space for new thinking.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Thank you
as you
so
said,
much,
creating space.
Tapati. Yeah. And final words for everybody watching and listening. Tapati.
I'm sorry, you were asking?
Final words for everybody watching
Ah,
and
okay. I
listening.
thought you were asking from watchers. Sa manonood. Yun, I think I've said so much already. All I can say is that honor yourself, honor your being, honor your feelings, honor your thoughts, and give that space. Create that space for yourself to have this beautiful conversation. A space of hope from fear.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Yeah, Miss Angge is echoing what you're saying. She says, "My life is great, life is beautiful," and she loves that too. Also, I am enough and I am complete. You know what? I just remember if you actually say this to yourself over and over and over and over again, I think, yeah, you said it's correct what you said. It will spark hope in you. It's really, yeah. It's really, like you said, have a conversation with yourself and tell yourself good things,
Of
beautiful
course.
things, like what's like the mantra. Well, and with that, everybody, and
Thank
please
you so much.
remember what the pat. Yeah, thank you so much for what's no what I like is you actually lived it, Tapati. You're telling us that we can create, but that's what you did, eh? You created from scratch during the pandemic. And then now you're helping, di ba? Like you said, it's inspiring not just you, but it's inspiring the community you serve, the parents, the singers, and now even the new coaches, the vocal coaches that you have. And so thank you for opening that space for everybody. And thank you for showing everybody that, you can actually create and thrive at this time of the pandemic. Thank you so much,
Thank you so much,
Tapati.
Ken, for inviting. Thank you for all who are watching right now. So if you're here and you're able to also resonate a lot, thank you that we're gathered in this space because right now that we're having this kind of discussion, kahit hindi man kayo kasama right like in the stream yard, but we are already creating that vibration and frequency and space. Thank you so
That's
much.
true.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tapati. And thank you everyone for joining in this conversation. Bye for now. We'll see you soon.